Hey guys, it's hashtag Ask Lauren. So I get a lot of questions about crystals because I talk about meditation and you see these crystals, and when I did the Valentine's Day Q&A, I had this like centerpiece on the table with all of my crystals and stuff like that. So I thought I would just talk about it quickly. I'm not a crystal expert. I just think they're pretty, essentially. The reason all of these are out is because we've had meditation at this place a couple of times, like me and my girlfriends and a group of friends get together to do meditation on both the new moon and the full moon cycle. And it's pretty casual, but we invite people that we know in and we listen to different meditations, and all of us are like really into crystals and just sort of like the healing power of crystals. So all of these crystals that look amazing and almost like, wow, these come from the earth. Like, isn't the earth magical? It grows these crystals and they are alive and they have a vibration, and they all have different vibrations and different energy and different healing properties. And so I guess in spiritual medicine, they're used for those kinds of purposes. Now, again, I don't really know that much. I was introduced to, I've always liked crystals. I've always kind of seen them and been drawn to like sparkly, like kind of raw, crusted looking stones and stuff like that. You know, like collecting stones on the beach I even liked doing as a kid, or shells. But once I started meditating and went to the retreat that I've referred to before a couple of years ago for the first time and started meditating, we talked about crystals there. We received crystals from the spiritual healers that were there. They used crystals and crystal wands when they were doing our treatments and Reiki and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got more into them. And I really was fascinated by sort of the properties of crystals and how, you know, they can bring power and help manifest things in your life. And some people might say that's all poo-poo BS, but I don't think that it is. I think that, you know, since these are all from Earth and we're all connected to Earth, then there's a reason these magnificent looking stones and gems and things and crystals exist, because the earth can heal itself. And I'm sure a lot of these things have something to do with that. So in a general sense, that's kind of why I like crystals and why I use them for meditation. And I've collected different ones over the last few years, and I only know what some of them mean off the top of my head. But you can get crystal Bibles. You can just look up blah blah crystal on the internet and it'll tell you. Or when you go to a like, you know, geologic type store or a crystal store, they always have little pieces of paper that you'll take with your crystal. And then I have those filed away like in a journal, which I forgot to pull out because it's packed away. But like, for instance, this is kyanite, and kyanite's like this black kind of, see, look, a piece just fell off. It's like this. And this is kind of like blocks negative energy, so it's a good one to like wear on a chain or like a necklace, or keep near your computer or like your electronics, because it blocks that type of energy. Another one that I like is citrine, and citrine is like the money stone, so it attracts wealth and abundance. So that's a good one. They say to like put a little one in your wallet or in your purse that you carry around all the time. And then clear quartz or smoky quartz and things like this are very clairvoyant and help during meditation. They help your third eye, they help you see clearly. And then there's grounding stones meaning grounding, like grounding you to the earth, grounding your energy to the earth, bringing you down as opposed to vibrating you way up here. And so tiger eye, and I have this cool tiger eye skull, is a grounding stone. So often I will meditate with the grounding stone down by my root chakra, which is your grounding root chakra. So down here, which is under the base of your like vagina basically, or your penis. It's at your tailbone or like underneath your bottom. So it's the point touching the earth. So I will like usually meditate with that sitting right down there, not touching, but like just down there. And then sometimes I'll meditate with two other crystals like in the palm of my hand. And if I'm doing a lying down meditation, I'll just put different crystals on like my different chakras. So this is not meant to be like a how to meditate with crystals or like this is what the chakras are, but definitely look up chakras. Some of you probably already know what that means, but it's the different energy centers within your body, and they go up from the root to the sacral, to the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown chakra, and then you have a bunch going way above your head up into the universe. So that's something I suggest just looking up online and watching other videos about meditations regarding your chakras and stuff like that, because like I always kind of speak in general terms rather than give you like this thorough, like, you know, how to step-by-step thing, because it's just not my bag. I'm just kind of intuitive with it. I don't think there's meant to be any right or wrong. I think when it comes to like, what crystal should I buy and how should I put them when I meditate, it should just be a feeling thing. Often if I feel like I want to meditate with crystals, I just kind of look at mine and I get this sense of which ones I should use. So I'm like, oh, it should be this one, and this one should go here on my third eye if I'm lying down, or this one needs to go on my heart center. But then there are also crystals that relate to the different chakras, either based on their color or their energetic property. So for instance, the heart chakra is really important. It's your heart chakra, and rose quartz is the love stone. And so it may be appropriate for you to put the love stone if you're looking for more love, or you're trying to be more loving, on your heart chakra. So I will often meditate with this on my chest, lying down. And a lot of times I have felt the vibrations or the energy from these crystals during meditation. And I feel like sometimes, especially if one is on my third eye, it's kind of opening up that portal to, you know, my higher self or another dimension or whatever. And I get really cool sort of visual, strong vision type meditations through the energy of the crystals. I really like them. You know, you can take them or leave them. Meditating is not necessary with or without crystals. Both is good. If you prefer one over the other, great. But I like my little crystal collection. And, you know, when it comes to these kinds of, you know, spiritual, new agey things, you may have noticed that it's becoming kind of trendy in a way. At least it's becoming more predominant for people to be talking about this stuff, which is great. There is a shift kind of happening where people are becoming more in touch and in tune with who they are, and meditation is a gateway to that. Sometimes, you know, I think, oh, like I must look like a hippie witch because I have all these crystals and like whatever, and like, you know, it's kind of trendy, and you see all the Instagram photos of like people with crystal jewelry and whatever, so it's like kind of trendy, but it's just like, if you're really drawn to them, you're drawn to them, and if you're not, you think it's a bunch of garbage, then that's fine too. But I like crystals. Look at this cool one that I have, this like pyramid one. Now pyramids are really symbolic because they're like triangles, and they're like, anyway, so you can find different crystal pyramids in geometric shapes, like sacred geometry shapes, or skulls, and you can find them raw or you can find them polished. And I buy mine in all different places. When I travel, I actually like finding ones in different cities and countries. And in Toronto, I've gone to a store called Geologic, which is on Queen West. It's a really beautiful store, and they have lots of crystals. They're a little more expensive at Geologic versus other places. There's a crystal shop in Kensington Market as well on Augusta Avenue, and I'm sure there's a lot of other ones. Actually, there's one over in the Annex beside, down the street. I forget what street it is, near Honest Ed's. But there's lots of different crystal shops everywhere you live, probably. And it's kind of like this thing, so when you feel drawn to, like when you're picking one in the store, like, this is all like intuitive work. Like working on your intuition comes with meditation and this kind of thing. And I think with crystals, it should be very intuitive. Like which ones are calling you? Which ones do you feel drawn to? It's the same as like picking tarot cards, or like shuffling the deck of tarot cards and then like feeling which one you should place. Or sometimes they just like fly out of the deck and then that's your card, right? So sometimes you'll just find a crystal, and if you find a crystal, that's pretty powerful because it means somebody lost it. It means they don't need it, that property anymore. They don't need that energy anymore, and then you found it. So then you want to cleanse it and keep it and set your own intention in it. So sometimes you'll find crystals go missing. Like if it's on a necklace, it may fall off. It means you don't need it. It means you don't need that anymore. You don't need those properties, that energy. So it's kind of cool. It's all like mystic and spiritual. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this one. Now this is a very delicate selenite, I think. Now you can read about cleansing your crystals. When you buy them, you should cleanse them of the energy and put your energy into them. And there's different ways of doing that. Google how to do that when you buy your crystal, but one way of doing it is smudging them with like Palo Santo, which this is Palo Santo, or sage, and you can burn it. And then the smoke clears the energy, and you're you know, reciting intentions in your head. And kind of, you know, doing this, cleansing them. You want to cleanse them before you meditate as well. And then some people, you know, certain ones can go in water, certain ones can go in the sun to cleanse, but some can't go in water, so you should look up different ones. And then some people say you can just speak your intention directly into the crystal. There's different ways of doing it. There's really no rules. So if you're into it, I encourage you to look up more stuff about crystals, get a crystal Bible, look on crystal websites. I don't know, I like these crystals. I feel like it's like, I never had a collection. I never liked collecting anything except music at the thing when I was a kid, like music magazines and CDs and autographs from bands. And I feel like this is my new thing, it's like collecting crystals. And they're just pretty. Like, if anything, they're just pretty. You know, they're twinkly and you're kind of really drawn to them. But I think that's because of the energy that they have. Oh, I guess the other thing people ask me about is essential oils. Again, I don't know a whole lot about them. If I never need to know anything, I just go on the internet and look. But I have like different ones. Like I use lavender to clean with and as an air freshener. I don't really use them for meditation, but you can do these things where before you meditate, like before I meditate, I cleanse the room or I cleanse myself with this. But sometimes you can also like scents really help people ground themselves and whatever. And sometimes you can make little tinctures, like dilute the essential oil in water or distilled water, and then make it in a spray bottle and like spray that to like set, you know, clear the room or like set an intention when you spray it in the space in which you meditate. So it's really just about kind of creating like a sacred special place for these rituals, and having rituals like that helps you get in the mindset of wanting to meditate and feeling grounded and feeling present. So that's really all this kind of stuff facilitates. The other thing you can do, which we do for meditation, is I usually take these crystals and we make some kind of like, you know, mandala, like some kind of shape or some kind of grid, like a crystal grid, you know, in the center of the area, and then everyone sits around it so that everyone's getting the energy of the crystals. So there's different things you can do. Look up crystal grids on the internet if you've never seen them. There's really cool ones. There's even this really cool video of this like little kid making this crazy crystal grid. He's like communicating to like spiritual beings or aliens or something. It's really crazy. And once I gave a citrine crystal to Joey Badass. There's an interview video, which I'll link here, but it's on my channel from when I worked at Much Music. And he's really into like meditation and, you know, being third eye sharp and all this stuff. So I thought, oh, you know, Natalie was like, you should give Joey a crystal. And like, we picked one out and we gave him a citrine. And wait till you watch the interview. It's pretty crazy what he says. So that's the power of crystals, my friend. What's that thing that like He-Man says? The power of Grayskull or something. Anyways, it makes you feel like a superhero or something. We all have magical powers and all of this stuff's connected. So anyway, thanks for listening. Some people aren't into this kind of stuff and listening to me talk about this stuff. So, you know, we'll only do it from time to time. But ask more questions in the comments below with the hashtag #AskLauren. And I'll see you on Monday. And I'll see you every Friday for #AskLauren as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.